This is Kyoto Tig, and what you are looking at right now are the ingredients for my summer spaghetti sauce. It is a recipe that I made on my own. Now this is probably going to be a little shaky because I don't have a cameraman to help me out, and I might have to put the phone down a couple of times, but I'll try to make this as smooth as possible. First we're going to go over the ingredients. First we're going to brown some meat. Oops, it seems I forgot my spatula. We're going to brown some meat, put it at medium-high is usually where I put it. And this is about 1.25 pounds. So I'm going to have enough spaghetti sauce to feed at least 8 people, maybe 9. If I feed 10, then I'll be very happy. But we're going to break up the meat. Like I said, it would be shaky. So we got the meat broken up, and we're ready to brown it. But before we do that, we are going to put in seasonal, and we usually buy the Morton brand because it's the cheapest. And seasoned to taste, but I like to put a lot on there. And Morton garlic salt, and we are running low on this. And then you just fold the meat. And this is a lot of meat. I usually just work with 1 pound, but the package was on sale. And then we're going to add a little more seasoning. Not much. And fold it again. And as we're waiting for the meat to brown, we're going to add the vegetables. Now the vegetables I cut up were half a squash, half a yellow squash, and half a zucchini. And we want to do it while the meat's browning because it makes it nice and tender. And then I just cut up some onion, diced up some onion, red onion, preferably, but sweet onion is also good. And then this here is red and green peppers, diced. I just cut a little slit off them. You don't need much. A little bit goes a long way. And I cut up 4 baby portobello mushrooms. So we're going to mix all that up so it can all get browned. And I'm going to be nice to you, and I'm not going to force you to watch in real time as I brown the meat and prep the vegetables. So I'm going to turn it off here, and there's going to be a jump to the next step. Grease is boiling and my meat's all brown. We're ready to put it in with the sauce. However, we don't want all this grease. It tends to give people heartburn, so let's go ahead and drain it. And be sure to wash out your strainer before you drain your spaghetti. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and find the big pan. Where's the big pan? There it is. This is where we keep all our grocery bags. We're going to find the big pan. And let's get this pan out of the way. I made asylum biscuits earlier. I actually just finished them. Actually, I think we have another one. Yeah, this one would probably be better. You don't need that much. I'll put it in a big pan. And I'm not going to make you watch me as I rinse out the strainer. But I am going to make you watch me put in what's next. And I did forget to pop an ingredient out. Now you can see here I got 2 marinara sauces. I'm not going to use that much. We've got about a quarter left here. But we are going to be using both jars. This is about a quarter here. And the label peeled off, but it is Newman's Own, just like this other one. Put the phone down. And usually we get Bertolli's or Newman's Own and the sauces. We also get Ragu cheddar sauce to like make macaroni instead of making the Kraft macaroni and cheese. So let's see, I think we can pull a little more sauce out of here. And then traditional Alfredo sauce. That's the Kroger brand. You usually get Newman's Own or Bertolli's, but I didn't have enough money, so I had to be frugal. And we're going to put in just a little bit of that, not much. And then get a big spoon and mix that all up. This is a thick sauce. And I am going to have to put a little more sauce in there because I forgot that I am using more meat than I usually do. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get that out of the fridge. And I made a mess. I don't know how my husband's going to feel about me using all this sauce, but we usually use a lot when we make spaghetti anyway. So there's a little more sauce. So we used about three quarters of a jar. You only need about half of a jar for 1 pound of meat. And we're going to boil it. Put it on medium-high to boil. You don't need to stir it very often, just as long as it's all covered up. And we're going to add Parmesan cheese. Usually people put Parmesan cheese on it anyway, but I like to go ahead and put it in when I'm making the sauce, just in case putting more Parmesan cheese on it isn't an option. Like, for example, I am taking this to the bar to share with some friends, and I'm not bringing my Parmesan cheese with me because it's almost up. And just get that stirred up to a boil. And we still got more sauce we can put in here. The sauce just does not want to come out. I don't know what that noise was. And this is a very important step. My water is going to start boiling soon. So let's grab the spaghetti. A new bag of spaghetti. And that'll give you an idea of how much I used. I used about 3/4 of it. And I broke the spaghetti up into thirds so that the noodles would go further. My husband's not sure how to make noodles. It's real easy. Just boil the water for about 12 minutes until it's tender. And if you're not sure, you can just like pull out a noodle with your fork, let it cool off for a little bit, and then throw it on the fridge. And I'm boiling here, so I put it down to low, as you can see, to let it simmer. And we're going to let it simmer uncovered while the noodles are boiled. And we're going to have another jump where I show you how to check if the noodles are ready. Okay, and the noodles have been boiling for about 12 minutes. And one way you can tell when they're done is see how they've plumped up. They're about twice the size they were when we put them in. And another neat trick is I'm going to go ahead and let these cool off. Blow on them to kind of speed up the process. And since I only have one hand free, I'll just go ahead and stick them on the stove. What the hey, I'm taking them off anyway. So you just grab this noodle, and one thing you can do is just pop it in half, and if you don't see any discolored marks, as this one is like, the color is consistent all the way through, that's one way to tell if it's done. Another way, let's pull out another noodle. And I like to use this method because it's just so much fun. Just go to your refrigerator. And I learned about this like back when I was in junior high. Go to your refrigerator and throw. See how it's sticking? That means it's done. So, let's go ahead and turn the stove off and drain. And yes, I do make hot tea. That's what the kettle's for. I decorated the house, by the way. I'm the one that came up with the color scheme, and I did it by the 4 Greek elements. Kitchen is fire, living room is water and earth, and the bathroom is earth, and our bedroom is the moon. I couldn't find any decent stuff to make an air, however, so we're going to go ahead and mix all this spaghetti in. And then we're going to let that simmer for about 10 minutes, covered. And we are doing that because that allows the flavor of the sauce to bake into the noodles, so you get a more consistent flavor. And I will be back in 10 minutes. You are going to experience a jump. It has been 12 minutes actually, so I turned off the stove. And let's see our creation. Get that out of the heat. And look at all that delicious spaghetti. And this is going to feed a lot of people. That's good, because I've got about 2 friends waiting and 2 bartenders waiting. Bartenders are kind enough to give me a shot, sometimes 2. Cheap shots, of course, in exchange for food. Usually my husband does the cooking, but we are a package deal, so my husband and I are going to get a couple of free drinks tonight for feeding the bartenders and feeding some of the patrons. And that's it. Just got to let it cool off for a little bit and serve. Enjoy. 5 people at the bar. The spaghetti was enough to fill this huge Tupperware, and give you an idea of how big it is. That's it against my stove, and it completely filled it to the brim. And I fed about 5 people, plus myself, so that's 6 people, and this is how much is left over. A very healthy dosage. So, and they got really big servings too, servings about this size, so that it'll feed about 7 people. So if you got a big family, that's a good recipe to use. And that is the KT original recipe summer spaghetti sauce. I hope you like it. Give it a try.